الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون صدق الله العظيم. From ayat number 21 of Surat Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses all of mankind. And if we go back from the beginning of Surat Al-Baqarah, mankind was divided into three categories. The first category was the category of the mu'mineen or believers. MashaAllah, the battery went out. It couldn't handle the three categories. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. From the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided mankind into three categories. We have the mu'mineen, the believers. We have the kuffar, the disbelievers. And we have the munafiqeen or the hypocrites. In ayat number 21, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses mankind. Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, u'budu rabbakum, worship your Rabb. This aspect of ibadah, of worship, this ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is unique only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not allowed to worship anyone or anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this ibadah is such that when it comes to the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the obedience of the rest of the whole creation on one side and the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the other side, it is important that we understand that we have to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the rest of the whole creation. So much so that if the hukum comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if the command comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we should even lay down our life for Him, then even our life has less value to us or less importance to us than the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. It's a very famous formula that there is no obedience to the creation when it comes to the disobedience of the Creator. If the creation demands that we disobey our Creator, then it is incumbent upon us that we disobey the creation and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is our Rabb. And going this aspect and concept of rububiyyat bari ta'ala, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rabb of everything and everyone, the whole of creation. This goes back to the very, very beginning of Surat al-Fatiha. A very, very beautiful rabat and connection that is going throughout Surat al-Baqarah, and it goes back, this connection goes back to Surat al-Fatiha in the very, very first ayah when we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, the first ayah of Surat al-Fatiha. That all praises belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is Rabbul Alameen. And the aspect of praise and glorification, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ayat number 21 of Surah Al-Baqarah gives the hukm and command to worship that Rabb, who deserves to be praised. And here, Rabbakum, He is your Rabb. When it comes to the sifat and qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His qualitative attributes, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has told us, Inna lillahi tis'a wa tis'ina isman, mi'atan illa wahid, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 beautiful names, 100 minus 1, emphasizing the number 99. Man ahsaha dakhal al-jannah, whosoever memorizes them, comprehends them, uses them. The word ahsa has a very, very broad meaning. Ahsa yuhsi, to be able to encompass, understand, memorize, implement and use. Dakhal al-jannah, they will enter into Jannah. There are certain lists mentioned in some of the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What is clear is that if we look through that list, those names are taken from the Quran, and maybe few names, 2 or 3 names from the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But the vast majority are from the Quran. What is clear is that these are not the only names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, these are the Asma'ul Husna. They are those names that have been given the title of the most beautiful names. Majority, almost all of them are taken from the Quran. But if you open the Quran and you open the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we will not find only 99 names. You will find 152 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in the Quran, you find many, many names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that does not come in that list of 99 names. Many of them we're familiar with. One is also the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Rabbul Alameen. He's Rabbul Mashariq wal Magharib. He's Rabbul Mashriqain, Rabbul Maghribain, Rabbul Mashriq wal Maghrib. Rabba kulli shay, is the Rabb of everything. He's the Rabb of the East and the West. He's the Rabb of the 2 Easts and the 2 Wests. And He's the Rabb of all the Easts and all the Wests. It's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about various concepts, but we'll come back to that when we get into those ayat. Rabba kulli shay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rabb of everything. This is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the Anbiya alayhim wassalam used in their dua. It is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that throughout the Quran you find used in dua, because it is a very, very personal name. It is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when you break it down in Arabic grammar, it is always mudaf to something. It is a relative noun, it has to be related to something. Rabb of what? Rabbul Alameen, the Rabb of all of the worlds, the Rabb of the East and the West, the Rabb of so on and so forth. The Anbiya alayhimus salam, they made it a point to say Rabbi, my Rabb, in their dua, showing that, oh Allah, I am your servant, I am your abd, and you are my Rabb. This name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows this aspect and concept of contract. That, oh Allah, we accept you as our Rabb, which makes us your ibad and your servants. That is why it is one of the most beautiful names when it comes to being a humble and wanting that one-to-one connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nas, u'budu rabbakum. O mankind, worship the Rabb of all of you. Worship your Rabb. And kum is plural, 3 or more. So all of the various categories of human beings that have already been mentioned, the 3 or more categories. And if you take then the Rabb of all of humanity. This aspect of all of humanity, the Rabb of all of humanity, we generally say it, at least for protection, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, the Rabb of all of mankind. So it's such a beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you find it is always mudaf, related, there's something related to it. But what is unique is that this name, you do not find in the list of 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's also other names, there are many names, even in the Quran. You have the name Arhamur Rahimeen, it's not in the list of 99. Ahkamul Hakimeen, read what Tini wa Zaytun, Alaysa Allahu bi Ahkamil Hakimeen, it's not in the list of 99. And the list goes on and on. Okay, there are many names that you don't find. That does not mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only has 99 names. He has many names. Yes, 99 are Asma'ul Husna. That doesn't mean that the other names are not His. They fall under other categories, they fall under other groups. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows best. So, this ibadah of your Rabb, what is beautiful is that when we accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as our Rabb, in reality, this is the very essence of Islam. When someone accepts Islam, what do we ask them to do? We ask them to recite the kalima shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What is a person saying in this kalima? In the first part at least. He's saying, Ashhadu, I bear testimony, an la ilaha illallah, that there is no ilah but Allah. That there is none worthy of worship except Allah. Which indirectly means, I, for the rest of my life, I am only going to worship Allah. So when a person agrees to this reality, what is he agreeing? He is saying that I am only going to do the ibadah of one Allah. I'm going to become the abd of Allah. And this is such a beautiful and powerful concept, being the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Being the slave and servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is what the creation was created for. The creation was created to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the highest level of that servitude is to be humble and to let go of one's own, to become very selfless when it comes to the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this title of Abd is the greatest title that can ever be given to anyone. That is why in the second part of the kalima, what do we say? وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And I bear testimony that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His abd and His messenger. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also called Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam His abd in the Quran. Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi. Glory be to that being who took His abd on a night journey. So, u'budu rabbakum here, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, worship your Rabb, become the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the greatest honor that can ever be given to any creation. And this is in reality a very great honor. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about His servants, those that He'll give the highest places in Jannah to, He refers to them as Ibadur Rahman. The ibad of Ar-Rahman, the servants of Ar-Rahman, those that only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we want the greatest honor in our life, we should bow our heads, bow our egos, bow ourselves, and we should come in complete servitude of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the greatest honor that we can ever get, being the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes the question comes, why? Why should we become the ibad of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. He's that being that has created you. In this dunya, in this world, in our world as human beings, there are many, many people amongst us who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them a certain level of intellect, that they're able to understand things to a little bit higher level than the rest of us. And through this intellect, they're able to invent many things. Through these inventions, part of their inventions is that one of the first things that they always try and do, at least in this time and age, is that when they come up with a very, very bright idea, or they come up with a new invention, they don't want that someone else should claim that invention for themselves. In this time and age, we have a system that has been made. We call it copyright laws. Laws that protect the inventor or the artist when they write something, or they make something, or they invent something. And if someone else uses that person's property, that person's invention, that person's art, without their permission, at least in America, we have a system of lawsuits. And sometimes you find big companies will sue another company for copyright infringements, that the other company used their product or used their invention without their permission. And these lawsuits are not $10, $15, they're in the billions. And sometimes they go to court to fight it out because it's easier to spend the money in court than to have to pay these many billions. And the lawyers, mashallah, they're very smart. Tell the other company, don't worry, we can win. They know if they win or they lose, they make their money. So they take them to court. Let them fight it out. And if one company realizes they can't win, so then they do an investigation on the company that's suing them to find out if that company took anything without their permission. So now they have a counter lawsuit. This company is suing this one, and that one is, and mashallah, lawsuits start. A few years back, this was a very big thing. Two of the biggest companies in the world were head to head against each other, Apple and Samsung, and subhanAllah, they went off for a very long time. But why is this? Because the original inventors, the original makers, they have the rights to claim that product to themselves. And in human society, this is a very, very big thing. To claim something to yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this system within us so that we understand. You find products, if nothing else, the product has a logo on it. That's when you tell this product belongs to this company. And if you use this product without their permission, or you use it without paying, you can end up in very serious trouble. And this system that we have, this is only for things that we've invented. Why? Because we've never created anything. If we are so serious about things that we invent, and we're so serious about things that we make, just imagine how serious it is to create something. What a level of ownership that must be. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has taken that claim that He is the only being who has created everything, and He is the being that has created all of you as human beings as well. الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ, He is that being that has created you. وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, He is the being that has created all those before you. And this claim means that the fact that I have created you, I have the right to determine what is good for you and what is bad for you. When we buy a product, even if it's something simple, it comes with an instruction manual, how to use this product. What is the optimal way to use this product? If it's something simple, so you add a simple one piece of paper. If it's something a little more complicated, so you get, this little foldable piece of paper. And it comes in, you open it. And if it's something that's more complicated, your cell phone, you get a little booklet with it. Nobody ever reads the booklet. But you get a booklet with it, instruction manual, how to use, just in case something goes, If it's something more complicated, a vehicle, then you get a nice, small dictionary. And the more complicated the vehicle, the bigger the dictionary. You buy a simple car, a small little dictionary. You buy a more complicated car, a bigger dictionary. And one of the first things when you open the manual, if something goes wrong with your car, when you open the manual, it says that if something does go wrong, please take it back to the manufacturer. Don't try to fix it yourself, because you might make the problem 10 times worse. Similarly, when there's something wrong with us, we have to go back to our Creator. Don't think we can fix it ourselves. We end up making the situation worse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having laid this claim to being the sole creator of the universe and being the creator of mankind, so He also has the right to pass laws to govern our life. He knows what is best for us. In the instruction manual, they'll tell you, after these many miles, you do the oil change for your car. After these many miles, you change this belt, or after these many miles, you change these fluids. After these many miles, change the tires. They're telling you optimal levels. Someone applies their own logic. How long do you think that vehicle will last? They say, I don't need to change it. I don't hear anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong. Not everything with sight. I don't see anything wrong with my driving perfectly fine. You're already far beyond the levels that were given to you. What happens? Eventually it breaks down on you. If not today, if not tomorrow, time will come. And when it breaks down in such a way that there's no way to fix it. You take that vehicle straight to the junkyard. Why? Because you blew the engine. You destroyed it. Similarly, as human beings, if we apply our logic, I can live my life my way. I am in control. Everything happened by chance. I have the freedom to do what I want, how I want, whenever I want. A man came to Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. He said, I have free will, but you mentioned that our free will is limited. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said, yeah, your free will is limited. He said, no, I have unlimited free will. I can do whatever I want. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said, really? He said, yes. He said, okay, stand up. The man stood up. He said, stand on one leg. He stood on one leg. He said, okay, now lift this one leg also. Stand on no legs. He said, that's not possible. He said, you said you could do whatever you want, right? You can't even stand on no legs and you're claiming to have unlimited freedom. What kind of freedom is this? What is the extent of your freedom? You have no freedom at all. If you have so much freedom, you can live without breathing. Stop your heartbeat. I mean, we claim we have so much freedom. We do whatever I want. Okay. You do whatever you want. Stop your heart from beating. It's amazing. This heart also does the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Stop it. Your breath does the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're breathing in and out. Various azkar. Everything in creation does the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. تُسَبِّحُ لَهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ السَّبْعُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. Everything in the heavens and the earth glorifies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything in the heavens and the earth glorifies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this glory, they do the tasbih and tahmeed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you don't understand the tasbih. You don't understand the dhikr. All these organs, they're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if someone doesn't worship Allah. The whole body depends on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we have so much freedom, just stop your organs, see what happens. For how long you think you can live? Everything that we live, what we consider as life, in reality it is dependent on the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our sight, our hearing, our intellect. So now you think, I have such a good, I am so smart. And I have such a memory. Sometimes you forget the most simple thing, It happens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tests us. Sometimes He makes us, just to test us, He shuts down our memory. You meet a friend that you meet every single day. And you talk to them every single day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shuts down your memory, you forget their name. I mean, it happens. Simple thing. You're sitting in your car, you're driving, sometimes you forget where you're going. You say, where am I going again? We have so much control. Really. What control do we really have? No control at all. We have no control whatsoever. We're completely dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if this is a reality and we understand this, then it makes perfect sense that we're not free. This world, we're not here to be free. We're here to be tested. And that test is to see the extent of our ibadah, to see the extent of our servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why we're here. We didn't come from some other creation. You don't find that one creation comes from another creation. In this world, a lizard is a lizard and a monkey is a monkey, okay? They don't, there's no connection between the two. A bird is a bird, and a fish is a fish. There's nothing that connects them. They're separate creation. Similarly, we human beings, we're separate creation. In the school system here, they teach the kids that you come from monkeys, You know why they teach them this? Because they tell you the second sentence, monkey see, monkey do. Just be like everyone else. Whatever you see, just do that. Don't try to be different. They teach you this monkey business. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created the monkeys also, but He also created us human beings. We're a separate creation. And we have a beginning also. So it's very, very important to know where we come from. We come from Adam alayhi salam and our mother Hawa radiyallahu anha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us just like He created everything else. And then He repeated the creation. Allahu yabda'ul khalq thumma yu'idu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He originated creation and then He repeated the process. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. He has made us completely dependent on Him. Yes, He gave us a certain level of intellect that we're able to choose if we want to follow and obey Him or we want to disobey Him. But even in that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put within the very nature of the human being that if he was left to nature, he would believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The very fitrat of insan, the very fitrah, the very nature of the human being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it pure to understand very basic concepts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us understanding and give us the tawfiq to practice His deen. Inshallah, we'll continue regarding the fitrah and the nature of this human being and what is nafs and what is the human being. Inshallah, we'll continue. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.